Leo reading for the week of January 5th. Happy New Year. What a beginning. Yes. All right. Let's take a look and see what's going on for Leo this week. Aren't you happy that I've been so caught up and on time? I was supposed to have Leo done yesterday, though. But at least they're all getting done in a week instead of 2. Staying on track. One of my goals is to stay on top of this like I used to could. All right, here we go. Who's a Leo out there? Hello, Andra. Hi, Nanette. Or Net. All right, here we go. Leo, Page of Wands. So, Page of Wands is something about school sometimes or learning. You had a rough week, Leo? I see some anxiety, 10 of Wands, 5 of Cups. So the 5 of Cups is pragmatism. Vetting and information before you move forward. It's not exactly the sky is falling, but it's definitely vetting information before you look forward into something like, let me see the rest. Let me look under the hood, right? You're not going to go into a used car lot and just take their word for it. So I have a question for you, Leo. What up? Patch, how you doing? Did you hear me yesterday ask you if you knew Pixie over there on Twitch? P-I-X-X-Y or P-I-X-Y? Anyways, so I am saying for Leo that they're like, so with the Tower card in the first row, I'm going to throw a guess out there. The feeling that this is coming across as. I feel as if Leo has had their beliefs challenged in a way. We've got the Tower card next to the 5 of Cups. So now you're not sure what to believe. Like you're not sure which portions of information to give weight to. And next to it, you have the Justice card. So the Justice card is about consequence, okay, and karma in a way. But this is the physical aspect. It has to do with contracts in a lot of ways too. But maybe things aren't panning out the way that you thought, because next to all of that, beginning in the first row, some anxiety and maybe you're being questioned. That is that 3 of Wands, feeling as if you're on the hot seat. To be honest, with all of this energy, we've got the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords energy is walking away from things that don't serve you. Just leaving it alone. Right? Also, Queen of Swords, you know, in my other deck, you guys hear me call it the bitch card, right? Because it's like when you're forward and when you're direct, as a woman, it comes across as bitchy. But we all understand it. Sometimes when I was in my ambulance, I would take that tone with people when they'd be freaking out. And my partner's like, how do you manage to get away with that? I'm like, sometimes that's the only thing people hear. And then I can redirect them where I want them to be. But sometimes you got to measure it out, right? So that's what this Queen of Swords is about. Being decisive regardless of what outward or popular opinion has to say about it. And this isn't, and this could really be about being unpopular. I mean, how many subjects can we pull out of a hat right now that's unpopular shit? So we're talking about politics and the pokey things. I don't want to trigger words and get me kicked off any platforms here, but you know, we're going out to doctors and having questions about different things, and now we're arguing about that. So I don't feel as if you're being challenged exactly, but there's talk going around, and Leo is feeling exposed as if like something is coming up that shouldn't. Or, you know how inappropriate some people can be when they think they know you. I was having a conversation with a client where someone had asked some really personal questions, a family member or something, and she was like, is this personal or is it just me? And so that is a little bit of what the 3 of Wands is about. Like, just like a sucker punch. Like this came out of nowhere. And, or maybe a surprising opinion that someone may have had based on not having all the information. So what I am seeing for you right now, Leo, just in caution, which pop my mind just blew when I tried to connect to astrologically what's going on. I was just about to run at the mouth and be like, Three of Swords is always my Mercury retrograde card, and ta-da. So we have the shadow period, like I think we're coming up into it now, because it goes what, direct on the 14th. So we're on the 5th now. It's about a week away. So we should be in that shadow period now, or feeling the effects of that. So we've got the Three of Swords, and the Three of Swords is miscommunication, or feeling as if your words aren't landing right. They only have to be 1 degree off to go sideways, right? So Moon and the High Priestess are together in this reading as well. So if you know anything about astrology or the moon in and of itself, it's correlated to emotion. Pisces. I love this, that it even has a Pisces in the moon here. I think back, actually, yes, this one too. One of the others. But this card talks about fear in a lot of ways, not just moods and emotions, which that's what the moon is all about. But it's about looking forward and not knowing the way and stepping forward anyway in faith. And sometimes it's a little dark and scary and we can't see forward, but we go forward in faith. So the moon card heightens our emotions with its presence in our cards. Now you've got the High Priestess here, and if you notice, it has a moon symbol in the bottom. Pisces and the moon. So the High Priestess is our intuition, our inner knowing, our clairvoyance, our clairsentience, our empathy. And so the High Priestess in this combination is probably indicating that some of you are having a spiritual awakening, or you're hitting some levels where you're starting to pick up emotions on others around you. So this feels like empathy. So depression was a big conversation earlier in this week because it's been coming up with my clients in their readings and in my coaching. And other practitioners are talking about this wave that they're picking up of energetically, of the collective. So when you have a new onset symptom of ascension, which is empathy, and you're starting to pick up other people's emotions, this is where you've got to start to practice with meditation and asking yourself, are these my thoughts? Is this my energy? Because I personally, as a practitioner, have been chilling and just felt really strange and interesting thoughts that I know were never a sentence I would conjugate myself, or a dark thought I wouldn't, or have never created. And so it was so strikingly different. I would sit with it and be like, what is that about? And, you know, reject them if they're not yours. But sometimes these waves of thoughts, I mean, we're coming into New Earth, guys. We've already done the grand conjunction last year. Everything's come into alignment, and now we're just calibrating. So as we're calibrating, all these new things are popping up. So expect to be hypersensitive. So if you're hypersensitive to other people's emotions, meditation is key. Because look here, we've got the Eight of Wands. Things moving too fast, feeling uncomfortable. So maybe you're not feeling uncomfortable yourself. Maybe it's the people around you that don't know themselves, and that is energy is leaking into the room. So know thyself is one of the keys in meditation that we go seeking. So it's priceless in this arena when that doesn't feel like me. So I have to ask if any of my Leos out there have anxiety. This is the Eight of Wands. So that's overwhelmed, not quite anxiety, like freaking out. So Coben Formax is right there with me. I felt dark energy. There is a wave. They've got to have one last push or two to see if we're going to pick it back up. And we're on to New Earth now. I was just having this conversation. That's why we have such a hard time calibrating, because the old ways of calibrating the structure is different. So when we try to ground, it's like standing on a waterbed, right? So I am seeing a little bit of anxiety. I think you're worried that things are going to get misinterpreted. So we're treading softly. Events are just moving a little too quickly for you to keep up with. Right? And so that's kind of causing you to feel, you know, how do we Like we feel like the situation is out of control. We can't control some situations. What we can do is surrender, right? Surrender is not giving up. Surrender is not giving in. Surrender is not throwing in a white flag, right? Surrender is, you know, floating. You can thrash around if you want to, but you're still going to be in the water. It's just how you choose to reframe the environment. So the question here for moving forward with this energy, how we can shake this, right, is with the 5 of Cups, right? This is that pragmatic distrust. So what we resist persists. The more we distrust, the more things we find to be distrusting of. So acceptance and surrender as things are, right? Accepting them as they are is key. So the reason why I'm gearing these toward coaching techniques and stuff is because I'm seeing that the next few encounters, environments, energetic experiences, so conversations. So the next few conversations where it seems that things are, you know, the energy's hot. It's one of those subjects that you are vested in. It's you with the King of Wands, it's saying that in those environments, you are being called to lead. And that's, Leo should be good at that. You guys like it, center of attention. But right now, this is about leading with an audience. So you might have people watching what you're doing and it needs to be done. So you're being called upon, dear Leo. All right, let me pull some cards for you from Mystic Dreamer and see what your moon reading is, Leo. If that made any sense to anybody that's out there, Leo, let me know. I am going to pull some cards for you and do your moon reading. To book your one-on-one, visit karmaondeck.com. For those of you on Instagram, please join me on my YouTube. You can see the cards picture in picture and get your notifications when they pop up. Like, share, subscribe. Put it out there, y'all. I appreciate it. Hang out. Let's see. I think I'm doing Virgo next. Yes, on to Virgo after this one. Okay. Here we go. High Priestess. Okay. So that's the very first card in your reading for your moon. Okay. The High Priestess is all about your intuition. So trust yourself right now. If you're feeling uncomfortable with that, it's got to begin sometime trusting your intuition. Sit with it and examine it. I don't really pick up that there's a whole lot of, I really don't feel like there's much you can do right now to move energy around you. I'll answer that in a second, Coben. So we have the Hangman. So that's delays. We have the Death card, which is transformation, side by side. So delayed satisfaction or gratification. You're feeling as if things aren't moving fast enough for you. Again, your indicator card is 3 of Swords. Are you having a hard time sleeping? Is there insomnia, or is there dreams where you're feeling heightened visions, views, lucid dreaming? I really do pick up that Leo's got a little bit of worry about judgment. What karma are you worried is going to come back around? I do see dead center of your reading right now, the 6 of Pentacles, which is charity. Such a giving heart you have, right? So we have the Star card, which is hope, Aquarian energy, balance, looking to see if the heavens are listening. Did you think to pray? Religion notwithstanding. Who cares what you name your God? Do we think to pray? That's that 8 of Cups, 9 of Cups energy where it's like, is anyone listening? But I see a lot of cards for love. Like this is protective energy. Like being afraid really is about, I don't want to get hurt. So King of Cups is key in this moon reading, which is EQ. So what that tells me, King of Cups, Ace of Cups with the High Priestess in play. These all tell me that your emotions are not going to be so overwhelming that you lose it, that you're going to be coming from a place of wisdom and EQ, even though we don't have the Strength card. This is the action of the Strength card. Coming from love, trusting your intuition, emoting articulately. And that's beautiful. Also with this 6 of Pentacles, which is charity. So if we come from a giving heart, you can't fail. So let's talk about leadership, like Coben's asking while I get this other deck out for you. The Oracle deck. So Cohen said to lead. To what purpose? So leadership doesn't require you to be in a position of leadership. You don't need to be CEO to lead. You can be in a room where abuse, verbal, or speaking for truth in a room where others are ignoring it. You know, coming from love in a room where nobody wants to see that side of the story, compassion and peace. That's a leader. Martin Luther King was an amazing leader with his heart. Coming from love. So who's the leader in the room if everybody's freaking out? And sometimes it's the hardest one when it's not popular. All right, so let's find your card for this week, Leo. Tarot, guidance. If you're feeling off, get guidance. So rely on your tools here. If you have a spiritual practice, it's telling you to go back to your spiritual practice. Find your roots. Get your guidance. Did you think to pray? Get a reading. Check your astrology. See what's up. Maybe it's just a placement and everything's going to be wonky. Hence Mercury retrograde. So let's be aware that sometimes things are going to get wonky right now and it's going to be fine. But get guidance. This means talk to a mentor, talk to an elder, talk to someone who's got their shit together, or someone's unbiased where they're out of the scenario where they can give you a perspective. You know, if you have a deck of tarot cards, this is the time to take a spread and take a look for yourself and touch the energy and trust yourself, because your high priestess is strong in both your general and your moon reading. I want to thank you for hanging out with me. I'll catch you on the flip side. So if you want to hang out, I'll be right back. Love and light, like I said.